Have you ever felt like you're standing alone for what you believe in, surrounded by voices telling you you're wrong? Imagine a nation at a crossroads, its people caught between two powerful, opposing forces. This was the reality for ancient Israel under King Ahab. The king had led his people away from the living God to worship Baal, a lifeless idol of rain and fertility. The land was filled with fear and confusion, thanks to Baal's prophets, who held the nation captive. But into this spiritual darkness stepped one man, Elisha. He wasn't a king or a general with an army at his back. His only weapon was his unshakable faith. What he did next would become one of the most powerful stories of courage ever told, a lesson that still echoes through time. Elijah marched straight to King Ahab and threw down a challenge that would force everyone to choose. "How long will you waver between two opinions?" he demanded. "If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." He proposed a public showdown on Mount Carmel, a dramatic contest between the 450 prophets of Baal and himself, the lone prophet of God. The tension was electric. An entire nation held its breath, waiting to see who would answer the call. The rules were simple: 2 altars, 2 bulls for sacrifice, but no fire. The true God would be the one who sent fire from heaven to consume the offering. The prophets of Baal went first. From morning until noon, they shouted, "O Baal, answer us!" They leaped, they danced, they even cut themselves in a desperate, frenzied ritual. But all they got back was silence. The air grew heavy. The crowd shifted nervously. Was this all a sham? The prophets grew louder, their cries echoing their desperation, but still ... nothing. No fire, no smoke, not even a whisper. Then it was Elijah's turn. He stepped forward, radiating a calm confidence that silenced the crowd. He carefully repaired the Lord's abandoned altar, stone by stone. He arranged the wood and placed the sacrifice upon it. And then he did something completely baffling. He ordered water to be brought and poured over the entire altar. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, until the wood, the sacrifice, and the trench he dug around it were completely soaked. It was an act of audacious faith, as if to say, "My God is so powerful. Even this impossible situation is nothing to him." With all eyes on him, Elijah raised his voice in prayer. It wasn't a desperate plea, but a confident declaration. "Lord, let it be known today that you are God in Israel and that I am your servant." And in that very instant, fire flashed down from a clear sky. It was a torrent of divine power that didn't just burn the sacrifice. It consumed the waterlogged wood, the heavy stones of the altar, and even licked up the water that filled the trench. The people, who had been watching in stunned silence, fell on their faces. A single, unified cry rose from the crowd. "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." In that moment, the illusion was shattered. The power of the false god, Baal, was broken. At Elijah's command, the people seized the false prophets, cleansing the land of the toxic influence that had held them captive for so long. Now, this story is about more than just a miracle on a mountain. It's packed with timeless truths for our own lives. First, faith isn't passive, it's active. Elisha didn't just sit back and wait. He built the altar, prepared the scene, and stepped out in bold obedience. True faith requires us to take action. Second, truth will always prevail. The prophets of Baal made a lot of noise, but their God was silent. In a world full of loud opinions and convincing deceptions, remember that truth has a power that can't be faked. It will eventually shine through. And finally, courage is contagious. One man, Elijah, stood against hundreds. His bravery inspired an entire nation to return to the truth. Never underestimate the power of one person standing firm for what is right. It can spark a revolution of hearts and minds. God's power is not limited by our circumstances. Even when things look impossible, like a water-soaked altar, He can move in ways we can't even imagine. The story of Elijah on Mount Carmel is a powerful reminder that even when we feel alone, even when the world seems lost in confusion, faith gives us the strength to stand. It teaches us that in the end, truth will always have the final say. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs a little dose of courage today. We'll see you in the next video.